All right, so let's take a look at a few things here since we got the daily candle close coming up in 4 minutes. Let me pull up that Bitcoin chart over here and see what we got going on. We had a massive move earlier today, so that can be seen here on the 15-minute chart. Pretty intense move, very nice, extremely violent. This type of move for that size. So what are we looking at here as far as what we got? 541, 5.41. That was it. Seems like it should have been more than that. Seems like it should have been more than that. It looks like we were trading somewhere around 34.40, and we're able to push the price up. Let's see, tapped out at the 5 of that fib, but who knows where that thing's from. 37.30 is looks like kind of the high for that zone. So I gotta wait for this thing to catch up a little bit so that it can do its thing. Hopefully the audio is not a total nightmare like it was last night. If it is, then I still got more work to do as far as fixing things and making things better. All right, we can see on the 1 minute chart, we're just a slow move up. Nothing crazy, it's very gradual. We are on a pullback right now from that massive peak. So I want this to load properly, which is it's thinking about it. It's a process. You know, it doesn't like doing things quickly, and so that means we wait, and we wait, and we wait, and we continue to wait because that is what we have to do. All right, we are coming in 2 minutes, so 2 minutes to the daily candle close. 5 minute chart is decent right now, not bad as far as what's happening. Little bit of a drop down here, so that would be the retracement from the bigger move up, obviously. We do have support from the whole, both the 40 and the 80. That's pretty good. We're coming up on some resistance up top. That's all part of this little green guy here, so it's just a set of EMAs, SMAs type deal that's going on there. This is far too busy. We're gonna need to. I need to swing to another chart here. So let's go XBT, USD, and BitMEX is what we're looking at. Less busy on this chart, less moving parts, easier to look at. And of course the infamous bullish Gartley, which technically is playing out, which is technically playing out just right. So that's actually really cool. I want to get rid of some of these lines, but I gotta leave them for now. When the lag is gone, then I can start to move. For the Gartley though, let's see, what do we got here? 559. Oof, we're right there, guys. We are right there. 1 minute for the daily candle close. Now we're on the daily chart right now, so that's good. We can see where we're currently trading at. We opened this candle at 33.57. We hit a high of 37.28, and we just closed the candle. All right, so congratulations. Your candle has been closed. Daily candle closed at 36.26. So a $269 gain, up 8%. Now, I know I talk about the big move a lot. Which we actually just spoke about in the webinar, was the the big move, 20 to 25%. Anything under like a 3-day period is nice, but for Bitcoin, it's a little bit different. You get an 8% move on Bitcoin. That's pretty substantial. We have to take that for. We have to take it for what it is. We don't know the trading, but we have to take a look at the kind of resistance areas that it might have come across, and just to factor in a possible pullback. Now we see similar candles of similar strength, right? This is a 9.5% move, right? Came and just continued to go up and up and up and up and up. But remember, the wick is selling. I remember that the wick is selling. So the price was up much higher and it retraced. Just like this price was up much higher and it retraced. All right, so its high on the candle was 37.28. We ended up closing the candle at 36.26. So it's quite a difference. So that being said, we'd be looking for some type of retracement. But before we do that, what we want to take a look at is the A to D, which is right here. And we're gonna bring this over this way. And we're gonna come down to our low right here. And the reason we do that is because for the bullish Gartley, we're looking for basically a 786 retracement here, which is good, but we'd like to still be able to get our profit targets set up. All right, so first profit target is 382, so we hit that, so that's good. So that's a win so far. We have a profit target at the 618, and then we skip all the other ones. We skip the one. No, I'm sorry. We skipped the 786, the 886. We got a profit target at the 1, which is the full retracement back. And then we have our target is the 127. All right, but we can let a little ride if it looks really bullish and we have confluence in other areas. Then could let a little ride for the 1.4 and the 1.6. But ultimately, the target here is it's about 44.50 to 44.80 ballpark. We set this trade. We started looking at it when we had the 618 retracement back here. So we had this big move up and the pullback. Right, and with this pullback, we looked at this retracement, and it ended up being a 618. So once you have a big impulse move up and you retrace down 618 and you reverse again, then it's pattern time. Right, so we pulled out the bullish Gartley. We set this up. We had targets up top so that we had an 886. We didn't quite hit an 886, but we'll take an 836. So that being said, once that target was realized and price reversed back down, now we had our target for D. And our D target originally, I believe, was 33.61. And we hit 33.61. This candle wasn't low enough. I remember that. What was the low on this candle? 34.05. Yeah, so that wasn't low enough. This should have been our candle right here. 33.70. We took it. We said, okay, that's about as close as you're going to get. At least for the trade, it looked right. So that was eyeball buy zone time, and we ended up getting better buys down here, which is, it's not something everybody does, but it's something I do. I'll throw I'll throw a few moonshot orders in, and what that is, on my way to the stop, I might throw one more Hail Mary order. Where just if we get something like Bitcoin, where you just might get a wick down, like a stop hunt, I'll throw that on there, and I'll play my chances that it'll get hit, because I'm already going long. So if we get that little wick down there, I'm not opposed to averaging in and getting a better order altogether. But anyway, that being said, this big move is the biggest move in quite a while. Let's see, January 10th was the last time we had a move, I would imagine, over 8%. Even these biggest candles over here, 4.2, 3.98, 6.44, and 8.40. Okay, so as far as moves are concerned, 801. Yeah, so we're looking at January 10th was the last time we had a significant move on a daily candle, where it's been this little itty bitty stuff, coming. You get your little dump in, or you go sideways for a little bit, dump a little more, sideways for a little bit, dump a little more. So we had this little stair-stepping action that was, for the most part, kind of boring. But if you were short from that C targeting the D, then you were in good shape. At least you were, at least you were looking at the right thing. Of course, that never means it's actually going to realize, but lucky, you know, lucky.
So
we had this little stair-stepping.
Well, hold on.
Action.
Let's.
That was for the most part kind of boring.
Of course.
But if you were short,
hold on. Technical difficulties, as always. As always, we had to stop that for a second because that was brutal.
All right, picture is blurry. I'm here with you. All right, fantastic. Well, Brandon, it's very nice to have you here, for sure. I usually just talk to myself, so this is a welcome surprise. Of course, I don't even know how to write in the chat, so that's probably a problem. But I could just talk to you, so that's good. So you said picture is blurry. Picture should be good. You should have settings on the little 3 dots. No, that's translations. My bad. Well, there should be settings on here. Yes, here it is. Full screen, default, multiplayer, settings. So if you go to settings on the actual window, you'll have speed. You can set that to normal, and then quality. If you're on auto, let's see. For me, it's showing up 720, 60. So 60 frames at 720. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. Firing on all cylinders in no time, man. I hope so. Just got to upgrade some things here so that everything is better. I don't know if you were here last night, but I tried throwing some video on there, and I think that just completely hammered the audio. So yeah, bingo, got it. So anyway, I try to come on when I can quickly and do a sort of a daily candle close and a recap, sort of what we're looking at for the next day and the next few days. We're going into the weekend. Weekend trading on Bitcoin is historically different every weekend. We've gone through 6 to 8 week spells where there's almost sideways to no action on the weekends, and then we went into like a 3-week spell where if it was Saturday and a Sunday morning, you were getting something violent in the 4 to 10% range, which was pretty intense. Just stumbled on me a couple hours ago. Awesome. All right, cool. Well, very good, man. If you want a specific chart or something pulled up, just pop it in the chat and I'll throw it up. We'll take a look at it, see if anything's going on. I tried to pull up my other chart here, but there was a little bit of lag going on, so it was tough to get that going. But we can see, so working into the first 10 minutes, we're at 8 minutes now. On the close of the daily, we have buying coming in. These are our 5-minute charts right here. So buying has come in. Again, we have we got support from the whole, both 40 and 80, which is nice. We're coming up to a little bit of resistance over here. The 1-minute chart is doing its thing. Now, on the 15, though, things do tell a little bit different of a story, right? So we're crossing over 40-80, which is good. At least we're in the right motion, but still both of them are acting as resistance. So when we get price up to these levels, depending on where they are, but currently 3660 and 3672, so we might be looking at a little bit of resistance in that zone. Everything else, though, for the most part, this would be just a solid retracement. So what I want to do, that's why I pulled up the daily. What I want to do is I just want to measure this particular move right here, and I want to see what we're looking at as far as a pullback would be considered, or if you're looking for a re-entry or just an initial entry. I'd like to just map that out real quick and see what we got going on here. So I'm just going to grab the fib, drag it over, and let's see what we got. 382. So I mean, we're only just past the 236, only just barely. A healthy pullback would be minimum 382. So we can put a little box over here as a probable support resistance zone, and we'll go ahead and make that filled in so it's a little bit easier to see. Plop that over like that. Boom. All right, so 382, that would be pushing us, let's see, we get the price somewhere around 35.82 ballpark. So in other words, we've already retraced up to 23%. If we're able to push it back enough first area of support I'd be looking at is the 382 of this move, of just this move here. So the 382, we'd be coming in off of a downtrend. Now, obviously, you look left, and anything to watch on anything to watch for on the weekly close. We'll take a look in just 1 second. Yeah, weekly close coming up in 2 days, so 48 hours on that. Yeah, let's see, Marcus. Nice to meet you, man. Yeah, well, I'm gonna pull something up in a minute. We'll take a look at how weeklies are going. For this particular move, we'll be looking like the 382 on a drawback, down to the 5. And the 5 we're looking at, give or take, 35, 33. But we have areas, obviously, over here where we have to reconsider. So you got your highs and your body highs. So a body high, this was the high that we've had since this whole trend, right? This little trend over here. This is also a breakout from a fairly good wedge that we had going on here. So this is a falling wedge in the blue. And that was nice. We can get rid of most of all of this junk. There's way too much junk on the screen. So apologies for the terrible chart. Yeah, we'll get all that crap out of there. So let's see. Weekly. Yeah, let's take a look at something. So I've been messing around with this thing. This is from Trading Room. So this has been pretty sweet. It's an intense time saver, so I'm able to come over here and very quickly see what kind of big moves have we had and take a look at them within the time frame. So I'll be looking, like you said, for the weekly. I'm going to pull up what happened in the last 7 days, and within those 7 days of trading, I'll get a better idea on what's moving, you know, what's hot, what's not, that type of deal. So now these are, for this tool, it'll show me every pair that's on Binance. You got to give it a second to load because technology. It's it's unfortunately not where I want it to be just yet. Come on, buddy, you could do it. Work with me here, or not. That's fine too. It'll eventually load. Until then, I'll go back to the chart. So I want to pull up. Let's take a look at the weekly for this. Let's just see what's going on here. Last week was kind of on the downside. All right, so we cleared out everything we had. We lost from last week and actually the week before, and we've closed above. Let's see, or we haven't closed yet, but we're currently trading above the last 3 weeks. So not bad, actually. Where we're currently trading would line up to a couple different areas of support resistance coming in on these tails over on the wicks. So generally speaking, right, you want to at least get back to your last, swing high. So this would be a swing high over here. Swing high topped out at the A marker. That's of the Gartley. So if we are able to get up to 42.40, close out the week, that would be intense. That would be a big candle, but look, we've done it before. We got plenty of big candles, plenty of big moves, big drops. That is certainly asking a lot. So we'll see if our little tool thing loaded here. Here we go. All right, so I'm going to go 7 days, which I'm already on, and I'm going to go to peak gains. And I like to just cycle through it once and twice. There we go. So big moves, big moves. Well, we can't look at BTT because BitTorrent right now it's just not enough data for it, and it's far too new to even mess with. So, but GRS BTC, we could take a look at that. In the last 7 days of trading, it has gone up 86%, and it's lost 76% of that gain right there. So it's heading now to the 786. So let's take a look at that. GRS BTC. And let's see, this is the weekly chart here. Let's just get a better idea on what's going on here. Obviously, massive retracement, but let's pull up the daily. Have a better idea on what we're actually looking at. So on this move, this was pretty good as far as drawdown was considered. You're coming down off a downtrend, but it's almost consolidation, but it's definitely a downtrend. So you're coming down off the downtrend and you pop, right? You have this big move up. We should be able to find some type of trend that broke, I'd imagine. And yeah, there you go. All right. So we get this big move and then down. And prior to that, we had another big move and then down. So you're almost just repeating the pattern here. So these two, right? Big move and down, right? Big move and down, big move and down. So this is more sideways than down. So it's a risky play, especially for this particular coin. Based off of how the chart looks. You got a lot of spikes and drops, spikes and drops, spike and drop, spike and drop. So these are all, basically pump and dump style coins. So it's always a riskier trade. Pretty low market cap, right? 14 million. That's crazy low. So, but a lot of people trading it. 3,838 Bitcoins being traded. That's pretty good volume. A lot of interest. So should have no problem for liquidity. What we show on the trend tracker is the 30-minute to the 6-hour. We're showing a sideways but with a bullish tone. But the 12 and the daily have dropped. And same with the 5 and the 15 are currently trending sideways with a bearish tone. ADX BTC 72% up with a 68% drawback. So that may be similar to what we just looked at. It's an 8 million market cap. So got the same pattern on the bars. Not really interested in that right now. But let's take a look at ARK. So ARK BTC in the last 7 days, up 53, down 38. So basically sitting at the 382 right now. So I would like to see, this chart. 1330 on volume, 53 for market cap. So still a very small market cap coin. But what do we got trend-wise? Looks like the 30-minute is bullish up to the hourly. We're sideways with a bullish tone. And the 4 and the 6 have either started to convert sideways or they're starting to convert the other way and get all of these guys green. Let's take a look. ARK BTC. See what we got going on over here. Well, we definitely got a big move down there. This is also the daily chart. I'd like to get a little bit more history on this thing just because I like to know what style coin may be trading. A couple pumps and dumps, but really for the most part, looks like okay trading. Relatively all right. It looks like it definitely had a series of big pump and dump style trading going on. Let's see, April, right? April through. And then it went very sideways since then. So as far as consolidation is concerned, I love a move like this out of consolidation. It's fantastic. So let's do this. And let's get a range over here that would make sense. We'll be topping off our top. So just on that last little kind of swing high, or at least that last high before the drop, I want to take a look at that zone. And this is where I'm at. Right. And I'll bring that down to basically the support levels of those dips. And let's get this out of here so that we got a better idea on what we're looking at. And here it is. So this would be my range that I'd be looking at something like this coin. And I would say within this range, if I'm able to break out of this range and make a significant move, then I'm interested in that move. I want to know more about it. So I currently want to know more about this. Even though it broke up and it came right back down, that type of violent move with this type of volume, I'm interested to see what kind of move we actually made. So I'm just going to throw a fib on just this move and see what we got going on. Now, I could go down to the low and get the whole story, but currently I just want to know what this thing did because I want to know what kind of pullback we're looking at. All right, so ballpark 786 naturally kind of crushed through the 786. So we haven't quite retraced to the 886 yet. And something like this, it hits the 886, that might be a wrap. It might not turn around. So if you were going in on this for an impulse move up, you could have a hard time with that. That could be difficult. However, if it does go up, right, then you're looking at real solid gains, because the volume that did come in is a significant amount of volume. So if they're trying to bring interest back into this coin, back into this pairing, they certainly have people's attention, especially with this drop down. Pretty violent move down, but it's somewhat not predictable, but it's trading, right? So you got your cycles. You got your lower low, got a lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. So this is a good cycle coming down, and then this range, it looks choppy, but it is a range nonetheless. So it's sideways action. You can't really expect much from sideways markets unless you can clearly identify the range. Then you could play the longs, sell, play the longs, sell. You can't really short on Binance, and I'm sure you can't short ARK, period. Let's scope out a couple more things here, and then I'll be hopping off until later tonight. Well, let's see what we got. We looked at ARK, BTC, 44 up, 65 down. So we've already lost to 618, so that's dangerous. And the daily went sideways, so that's not a good sign. If you're looking for retracement coins, right, you'd like to see the 12 and the daily dark green. Dark green will at least tell you that they're in an uptrend. And then if your lower time frames are pink or dark pink, then okay, then you're getting your pullback that you're looking for, so that's okay. But that's a coin I don't even want. I'm not even going to pull the chart up for something like that. 42 up, 64 down in a 7-day period. GTO, strong downtrend on the 5 minutes, so early time frame chart, and then somewhat sideways with a bullish tone, 15 to the hourly. So nothing significant here. The longer time frames are telling me this thing's headed down. So again, another chart I don't have to waste my time opening, so that's cool. Again, over here, so daily now, this could be the opposite, this zone here. What we could be doing is converting this into a downtrend. So light pink into light green. We could see that on the 5, we started to get some, right? So the 5 started moving. So I'm going to pull this up. NPXS, BTC, 40 up, 66 down. Let's take a look. NPXS, a little pundy. All right, NPXS, BTC. That's NPXS, so that is wrong. NPXS. Work with me here. There we go. All right, so right now we're currently on the daily chart. Let's take a look. I've already got some old levels on here. Yes. So the thing about a coin like this, you'd be better off trading something like this with an Ethereum pair. So consider like a higher resolution. When you're all the way down to double-digit sats, one big move is 2 or 3 sats. For you to get any type of resolution in between those is real tough. But this particular coin on an Ethereum pair should still have enough liquidity for you to get your trades in. So let me go NPXS, but let me go ETH on this. Yeah, and you'll see what I mean. See how ugly that chart is? See how like one tiny move and a little bit of a wick, and it's just that crazy chop. So we're not even going to bother with that. We go to Ethereum now. We have basically, like I said, consider that resolution. Now you have a resolution of 521 different parts. You can move one at a time instead of 20 sats where that's it. You move down to 19. Well, guess what? It looks like a huge move. So we're not looking at that. How about LTC with the big pop? Where will it pull back to? Let's take a look at that in just 1 second. Let's scope out Pundy while we got it up, and then yeah, for sure we'll do LTC. What pair you want with that? You want LTC BTC, or you want LTC USD, or do you want the tether pair? So let's see. Overall, for the whole life of Pundy, obviously we had listing on Binance. Listing came in, had a massive pump, massive dump, and then just slowly worked our way down. So we do need to throw on some kind of level here, at least for time being, so we get a better idea on what we got going on. So this was the area of support where price reversed, and obviously up here, this was the area of resistance where price reversed. So we have already just a little channel of a range here. We broke through, so market structure broke through. Now you have your high, you have your low, you have your lower high, and this is where you broke trend, but you made a double top. So double top and down, and now you're back down. This should have been an area of support where hopefully you would have had some sort of resistance. Not really. Looks like it blew right through. Now you painted yourself a bit of a cup and handle. So that being said, if you were to take the cup and handle move over here, all right, so you go left side, you're looking at the cup, swing down and come back up. So your cup, left side, you would have a retracement for the handle and then shoot up. So it failed to do any of that. But what we can see is a decent move up. 26% is a huge move. This is on a daily chart, so that's really not bad. The retracement's been brutal, but let's take a look at the bigger picture. So we'll grab our, again, we're just, let me throw the magnet back on there. So for this, we're looking at the trend itself. So we want to go, bottom to top, right? That'll give us our fibs. And we can see that this particular move here is dropped to the 382, pushed its way back, almost back with a full retrace, and then lost it again back down to the 382. So we know the 382 held before, but similar to, like walking on ice, the more you do it, eventually it'll crack. So that logic sticks with us with support and resistance. So the more time you go banging on 382 from the upside, eventually you're going to be smashing through. Now, one touch is no problem, so I'm not really concerned about that. But this double top and down, that's got me thinking a few different things here. You don't want to see a double top. You don't want to see that failure, right? That should have popped through. Without popping through, now you have to deal with the possibility of further loss. So, that being said, you play it two different ways. Now, this previous area right here, right, where price reversed and it ended this particular downtrend, this is just a pause in trading. But because there's a lot of trading going on here, that's also an area where we're going to keep in the back of our heads when we get out of 382 and up into 236. That's a struggle zone right there. So when I do on my chart, I'll just do something like this. I'll take this area and I'll say that could be an area of interest that I'm going to have to deal with later as far as trading is concerned. So that's for Pundy. Good move up. Good move up. You're not too late to the game either for this type of retracement. 382 is healthy. 382 is really healthy. You're down in what we just looked at, 786, creeping on the 886. You're almost not calling that a retracement anymore. But some of these low cap coins, they will retrace. They'll go all the way down 886, and people will start buying it. And the reason being is, you got an 88% discount on something that's already super cheap, and they're hoping that these coins go up to, many, many, many dollars. And if that's the case, then yeah, the stack that they're holding is pretty nice. All right, so what do we got here? LTC BTC, that's what you want? LTC BTC. Who would have the most volume for that? We'd have to pull up CoinMarketCap, but let's see. I know history-wise, it's certainly not going to be Binance. Stamp would probably have the history. So let's take a look at Stamp real quick, because for something similar to this, you want to see what happened in the past. Because if it stopped at a specific level,
then you start incorporating your support resistance back. And you can see, like, you barely even have to pull up the chart. Now, not dime for dime, but all right, within a couple percentages, you see we had a very similar move, right? A huge downtrend, big pop up sideways, and then smash. So huge downtrend, sideways, big cup and handle, double top, and then a big move up. So, am I saying that this is the next candle? No, of course not. I'm not saying that, but we get an idea of what price did in the past to help us make better trading decisions going forward. So, I like this chart though. I'm not a fan of the history. I'll tell you that much. This only goes back to July. That might be right. No, that's not right. That's not full history. All right, so got a curl down bottom. So when you have a retracement or a rounded bottom, generally speaking, that'll be a healthy reversal, which is good. I like to throw something like this on here and just get an overall idea on what we had here. So I would have done this. Now, remember, this is on the weekly chart. So let me actually refine that. I'll throw it on the daily, and it'll make a lot more sense. It'll be a little easier to see. So rounded bottom reversals are healthy reversals, as opposed to something like extremely violent, like a V bottom. V bottoms will sometimes turn into W bottoms because because it wasn't healthy to be that violent, to go back down that far. So you see on the weekly, you actually had a pretty good bowl. On the daily, not so much. On the daily, a little bit more resolution in here, and now it's looking a bit choppy, so I'm going to get rid of that altogether. So what happened was we came down somewhat violently. We went sideways. We developed a range. We broke out of that range, made another lower low, found our support on a previous low, danced around a little bit, so you had a little M here. All right, you got the 1, 2, 3, 4, or A, B, C, D. That's your M. And then you reverted back. So now you built yourself a wedge. Over here, you broke through the wedge. That failed, came back down. Now you got a real nice rounded bottom. So this is almost a textbook cup and handle here. We'll take a better look at that. So on a cup and handle, what you want is you want a nice round bottom, but you do want volume decreasing, which it didn't do. So this would sort of invalidate this cup and handle. So there's not a whole lot of point in talking about it, which is too bad. I like patterns. That would have been good. So a nice round bottom with a good retrace, and then profit targets after you break the left side of the bowl. Well, we're going to look at this. So LTC, 1 day, 20%. So these are moves that we like to look at. So I'm going to do two things here. First thing I'm going to do is measure the move. I want to see what we did just in that move. Right? This will give me an idea of pullbacks for this particular candle, and then I'll go back to trend and get a better idea on the bigger picture. But I would be looking at, just based off of this candle, this volume over average, we're in a local uptrend with our low. So we got our low, we got a higher low, we got a higher high, we got a higher low, we got a higher high. So we're cool. And we broke previous market structure right here. All right. So by breaking previous market structure, now you've made yourself a new high. Right? So now you have a new high, and you're still working off that same low. So the low is down here. All right, for this move in the cycle. For the trend, you have this low here. All right, and that's the low for the trend. So essentially what happened was price was, higher, obviously, in history, and was working its way down slowly, working its way down, and price reversed. And when price reversed, now we call that our local bottom. From there, you made a high and a higher low. Once you have that, now you started to build yourself a trend. So we have a high, we have a higher low, we have a high, we have a higher low, we have a high, we have a higher low, we have a high and a higher low. This is micro trend within the larger trend. Right, so larger trend is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and now 6. So this is our trend. So with that trend being said, now we can actually put a line on here and get an idea for what we're dealing with. Now I cropped out, everybody does trends a little bit different, and I'll actually slide this back a little. So I've learned with trends, you know, I was very, very, very technical with trends at one point. And what I started to notice was if you're super technical with it, yes, you're correct. It is the correct way to do it, but it doesn't seem to always pan out. Where if you're a little bit more free and you use a little bit more common sense, then they tend to work out a lot better. So what I did here was, yeah, I was technical, wick to wick on the top. I even cropped out this guy here, just based off the size of the wick and how the trend looked, and it was okay. But you know, I had a gap over here on where this candle stopped. Now I don't. What I did was I brought it down to the lower part, right where we first went sideways after resolving that daily candle, and we worked our way down. That to me is the high, and that's the beginning of this trend. That's the first high, and again, you broke market structure right here. So this is your previous swing high, and now you broke it. Not only that, you closed with the body over it. So that is why I use that as my first anchor point. My second anchor point, what I did was I brought the trend line up and over just those bodies. See how the touches come in? Far better than the wicks over here. So on a daily, I took that and I like it, and this ended up acting as resistance. So had I drawn this after we made those, we would have already been looking at those lines, but I didn't. So there's that. You move forward. That's what you do. All right, so now that we have that, let's draw ourselves another line here, and this will just be trend. So for trend, I want to take a, come on, everything, it's dying. Oh, we got some, oh, wow, there's some people here. Hey, what's happening, everybody? I got 3 minutes and I'm out. 3 minutes and I'm out. All right, what do we got? LTC, big pop. Okay, we're looking at that right now. Good to see you use the fib. My thought process. Hopefully, I'm sort of explaining that at the same time. If not, it's cool. Ricky, ask me something specific about it, and I will for sure go over it. If not right now, if I can squeeze it in before I hop off in the next few minutes, I will. If not, absolutely later on. Let's see. Greetings. Love your design, by the way. Very metal. Thanks, buddy. I'm old school Jersey hardcore, so there's a little of my history for you. Hopefully I didn't miss the LTC talk. Dog had to take a shit. Well, dogs do that, so it's fine. No, we're on LTC, so it's all good. What I want to do is I want to at least get an idea for, come on, man, this chart is going to be the death of me. All right, so, yes, can I do this? Can I put a trend line on here? That's all I want to do. It's very simple. All right, and I'm going to make that one green because that is now support. So visually, for me, I usually do, red as my upper trend line, green as my lower trend line, and then it's very simple. You see red, okay, resistance. You see green, all right, support. Again, with this trend line here, now I didn't super fine tune this. Now, just in the interest of time, but what I did, I should be taking these guys here, the bodies, more seriously, but I don't want to completely invalidate it by slicing through this body in half. That doesn't make any sense. So, like I said about being really technical about that stuff, I started to get away from that and just started to do what felt right, and this right here feels right. And by that I mean the bodies themselves are literally riding that trend, as opposed to where I had to smack it before. I sliced right through a candle, and that just doesn't make any sense. Over here again, they're living in the trend. You got a couple spikes down, which is fine, but the body close is living in it. So all of that being said, this is our move, and we're going to pull out a fib, and we're going to get the whole move. So bottom, right, to current top, and what I'll do is I'll swap this out so that we can see both, so it doesn't look, for now, let me just do something very simple so everybody understands that. All right, so for the whole move, for this reversal, we would be looking at grabbing something along previous market structure. 382 would be ideal. So coming in at this previous bottom, or previous top, I'm sorry, previous swing high, into this ballpark, this could very easily be the move. All right. And this would stay within this broadening wedge. All right. Even though it looks like a massive retrace on this particular candle, for the whole enchilada, it really ain't all that bad. Now, I would say with the volume that's coming in, the interest in Litecoin, Bitcoin's having a great day, we might not see 382. It might not retrace that far. And in which case, I would set myself up with some targets. I might even go from the 382 here on this local, right? Just on this move here. And what? Get out of here. And in fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it down to the bottom. Just at the bottom of this move. So we had our high. We swung down a little bit. So I'm going to add in these last 2 days. That makes a little bit more sense. So I would be looking at a level here. This would be the hot zone, right? 382 to the 618 on a local move like that. Hell yeah. So I'd do something like this, and I'll even just throw the 5 in there, just for giggles. And I'm only doing that so I could pull this off of here and clean the chart up a little bit. So this way I have, you know, they're on the right hand side over here. So now I can get rid of this, and I can get rid of this. And come on now. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. Better equipment. It's coming. I'm telling you. It's coming. Come on. Get out of here. Do this. One more move. And this. So now it's a little bit easier to see the bigger picture. All right. So let me just drag this over. So to see the bigger picture on this particular trend, right? Now you get the idea of this is previous high, just like this was previous high, just like this was a previous high. So when you break the previous high, right, that's an area of interest. And what happens? We broke the previous high and we came right back down to it. We retested it. We made a new high and then we retested. We made a low, and where was the low? The low ended up being the previous high. So now you swing back up, you swing back up, you swing back up. Where do you get stopped? Where do you go sideways? Back at the previous high. So sideways to the previous high and then a violent move up. So now market structure would dictate that if we were to come down on a pullback, if this move is done, if it's exhausted, and we're to come down on a pullback, our first target area is previous market high. So you'd be coming back down to this zone. So all that being said, we have to wait and see. Now we want to stay within this trend. We want to keep support on our trend, and we can maintain resistance on this channel for the next move up. So we'd be looking at a current local move down and then another move up. Current local move down, another move up, until we start seeing other avenues to consider. And that would be highs over here, areas of consolidation over here, another high over here on a reversal, right? So this is an area of concern. We could possibly do something like this where this might come into play right now. And I'll tell you what, right now that level is nice. This is a good level. All right, so this was our 382, this was our 5, and this was our 618. This is what we, or what some people call, the hot zone, or like a good pullback zone. So for this move, this big giant move up here, we're to pull back down in this area and then spring back up. That's perfectly healthy. And if you were to add confluence to that with a previous structure high, now of course we're in a downtrend, but this is an area of interest because this is a retracement to this move here. So if you were to take your fib and do this, well, I'm sorry, do this, of course, because we're measuring the other way, and we can see that the retracement here was almost a 382. It's too bad. That would have been great. So yeah, we pull that back over here. Yeah, and that is the high, correct? Yeah. It's too bad. So it only just crossed the 236 and ended up swinging near the 382. Didn't quite make the 382. Now we can move that level if we want to the actual wick. That might be a better target area. All right, so that's not bad. That's something to consider. Now it's, look at that. Yeah, now it's in between the 236, the 5, and the 618. So between the 236 and the 5, that is the 5. That is the 5. Let's double check. Let's double check because we want to be right. Is it? So when we talk about confluence, this is exactly what we're talking about. It is the 5. You see that? So this is our move, right? This is the current move right here in this little baby fib that I just put up. This is the current low, current high. That 50, and we just said the 382, the 5, and the 618. That's our buy zone, or if we believe in this move. That confluence, horizontal support, is on the 5. It's literally almost set for set. All right, so that's how you look for that type of thing. Anyway, that wraps it up for me for right now. I'll be back at some point tonight. Don't really know when, but if you get an alert and I'm on, that's awesome. Come join me. We'll talk some TA. We'll go through some charts. We'll do some things. It'll be fun, you know. that type of thing. But anyway, I can't thank you guys enough for being here. Really appreciate it. That's awesome. So very cool. Hopefully I'll see you guys again soon, and we'll do some more. We'll do some more things. All right. Let me just double check, make sure I didn't miss anything. Didn't miss. Yeah. Depending on structure, trend line will break. Yes. Yeah. Just want to remember candle or wick breaks. Yes, absolutely, Ricky. Good work. All right, everybody, be good. Enjoy the rest of the night. Catch you on the exchanges, and until then, happy trading.